Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's our live stream watch along for the Roma game. I was setting things up. I thought I'd just go live for you all so you can all get involved and hopefully everything's working fine. There we go. There we go. So I drew what some people say is the short straw because Xander got Real Madrid last night. I didn't. I got it last week. So I get Liverpool. Now, people will know I'm a massive fan of Liverpool. I absolutely love them. As a big Manchester United fan, I absolutely love Liverpool. However, I'm totally joking. I really hope that Roma win this. And I think that, in many ways, means that it's a bit torturous to watch this game, I suppose. But you never know. At best, it'll be a nice Q&A. At worst, it'll be a nice Q&A. At best, we might see a really good game. Evening, Ricardo and everybody else who's saying hello. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's see if we can get to 28,500 tonight. Please do share it, get involved. If we have got Liverpool fans on here, look, in all seriousness, this is not the United Stand. This is That's Football, and it is a channel for everybody to get involved in. Keep it clean, keep it, you can be mean, but do it in a fair way and have a bit of banter, but nothing abusive. And you know what? If Liverpool gets the final, I'm saying it through gritted teeth. If Liverpool get to the final, then they're going to deserve to get to the final, aren't they? They've been very good against Manchester City. They were very good in the first leg. And hopefully Real Madrid will smash them in the final. You know, you've got to pick sides, haven't you? But it's going to be very hard for Roma to do this tonight. Very hard indeed for Roma to get back into this game. It can be done. They did it against Barcelona. I think it all depends who gets the first goal in this game. Really depends who gets the first goal because Liverpool aren't great defensively, and if they do concede a goal, you know, if I was Roma, I would stage this. I'd say 1-0 at half time, don't need to panic. Get another one, you know, as long as you get another one, 2-0 with 10 minutes to go, they're going to sit back. So that's how I'd be looking at it, Roma. They don't need to go at it like, you know, like a virgin in a pawn shop. They don't need to go at it like that. They need to be calm, cool. Lothario, experienced porn star, you know, just take your time. But that'll all be destroyed if Liverpool score a goal. Because if Liverpool score a goal, it changes the dynamics. The teams for you. Liverpool have got Karius in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson. Steady back four now and keeper. Wijnaldum, Henderson, Milner, the midfield three. Salah, Firmino, Mane. Pretty predictable. Roma, missing Strootman, missing a couple of players. They've got Becker in goal. They haven't got their number one goalkeeper, is the Brazilian goalkeeper. Alisson, he's not available at the moment. So they've got Florenzini, Manolas, Fazio, Kolarov, Pellegrini, De Rossi, Nainggolan, Schick, Dzeko, El Sharawi. And, you know, it's a bit of a shame that there's no Strootman, but they do have Nainggolan and Daniel De Rossi in there, who, for me, I grew up with three, you know, they're not all the same age to be fair, but they are very epic midfielders is what I would call them. And Daniel De Rossi is one, Gattuso was another, Schweinsteiger was another. Those three midfielders, away from the likes of Scholes and Roy Keane, who I absolutely idolise on the continent, Gattuso, Daniel De Rossi and Schweinsteiger were three midfielders that I just absolutely loved. And Daniel De Rossi's coming towards the end now. Has he got anything left in the tank? He's a great leader. And I rate that El Sharawi guy, says Kieran Byrne, would be a good night to score a hat-trick. It would be a great night to score a hat-trick. And I've just messed up on the keeper. You know what? I've just messed up on the keeper. I realise now what a prat I look. Thanks for that, Theon Curtin. I thought this goalkeeper was a reserve goalkeeper for Roma. It's not. It's just the old Brazilian thing, isn't it? It's like, what's Coutinho's real name? He's, you know, I've seen the Barcelona lineup a few times, and I thought, who the hell was that? And it's Coutinho with his Brazilian name. It's like Anderson at United. He always used to throw me when it had that when he had his full name as well. So their goalkeeper is in goal for Roma. So scrub that one. Anyway. Will we see the actual match or just commentary, says Chris Lazar. Yeah, this is a watch along, mate. We watch. You can watch the game or not watch the game, and you can keep involved and have your say. It's basically a bit of a banter and a bit of a community where we watch it together. So yeah, we're only 5 minutes away from kickoff, and hopefully we'll see a good game. I mean, I think whoever you are, apart from Liverpool fans, I think we'd all like to see a game of it, wouldn't we? Even if your end game is that you want to see Liverpool going through, I think it would be nice to see a bit of a game of it. I've got to be honest with you, it's a great atmosphere. I'm very, very excited about it, and I love Italian football, and I really, really hope that Roma can do something, because I think, you know, taking away the fact that I'm not Liverpool's biggest fan, I mean, that's irrelevant really. No Italy in the World Cup, so it's sort of their last throw of the dice to do something this season, and I would like to see Roma get there. I think it's more of a fairy tale than Liverpool, although Liverpool fans might disagree with that. They're hot favourites to do it, and to be honest with you, whoever gets to the final, I just think, you know, maybe Bayern Munich would have been the tougher task defensively, because the way Real Madrid play defensively will really be something that Klopp and Liverpool will be relishing if and when they get there, and they can get there. They can get there. They're in a very, very strong position, 5-2. But how would you play it if you're Liverpool? Good question. How would you play it if you were Liverpool? I think personally, you've got to go and give it your best shot to try and score a goal, because I know one goal doesn't necessarily change the context of the game, but it certainly puts it back into the corner of Liverpool if they can get that one goal. So I would go and have a go. Pankaj, yes, Daniel De Rossi is starting. Please do drop a like on the video, and more importantly, please do share the video. Let's see how many people we can get watching. I have to have at least double the viewers of Xander just to get out of bed in the morning. So I think he got about 400 last night. So I want to top up at 800. So get sharing that video on Twitter and Facebook. If you click share, and you've got Twitter and Facebook, it allows you to share it. You can share it everywhere. So get involved with that. Thoughts on Roberto Mancini for the Italy job, says Ryan Cordora. Yeah, really pleased about that, actually. Really pleased about that. I mean, no, I'm no fan of Man City either, but I do like Mancini. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Mancini as a player. Mancini and Vialli, I absolutely loved them when I was growing up with my little Sabutio men. And I like Mancini, and I think Italy... I think it's a farce that Italy aren't in the World Cup. I really do. But, you know, you get what you deserve, don't you? So, yeah, it's... But yeah, it's a good appointment, that is. And I hope Wenger goes to France as well. I think France have got an absolute clown in charge as well. So, you know, I'd like to see England get a decent coach too. So, yeah, it could be a rejuvenation of international football. Because I think it's dying a death a bit, the international football. Real Madrid has never been a defensive team. It has always been you score 4, we score 5, says Jeffrey J. Yep. But the thing about Liverpool is that they can score 4, can't they? Anthony Muller, I don't know about Daniel De Rossi, whether he's going to play again. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not totally sure whether he will play again. I'm just having a look at his age now. He must be well into his 30s. So he's 34. Oh, yeah, I think he'll probably play again next season. I thought he was older than that. For some reason, I thought he was 36. He's 35 in July, so he may have another year. The Italian league's a little bit slower. So, yeah. So we're a few very, very close to kick off now. Give us your score predictions. My theory is that I'm going to say Liverpool are going to get through. Begrudgingly, I think they will get the goal. You know, Salah's on fire and he'll know this ground and team very, very well. And that's what they'll look to exploit, I think. Dream the impossible dream. Dream the impossible dream. I love that song. Anyway, how are we all doing? De Rossi may as well go to China and cash in like Iniesta, says Kingdom FX. Take Fellaini with him. Fergie, I think United should go for Stick. Still a young lad, maybe a backup for Lukaku. Keep an eye on him for Roma tonight. De Rossi is an absolute legend. I'll be back with you in 1 minute. I've got subtitles on here because I normally have subtitles on for United game, but I do not need subtitles for this. I'm not intending to listen to any of their commentary. So. Back. You got me now. we go. Done. So, great atmosphere, says NVS Abhishek. Yes, the Italian... The thing about the Italian grounds as well is they don't always pack them out. But when there's the big games, they will. And this is absolutely massive. Roma, Salah's looking up for it. Roma need to be up for it. And they need to be competitive. Their tactics last week more or less put them out of the game. So we're off. But you never know. You never know in football. Maybe we can get something. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment and I'm going to be watching this thinking, oh my God. Well, they nearly got in there, Roma. That's a bit of a shame. He's bad first touch and they were in. But you got to get Liverpool. Solskjaer has bottled it. Hashtag Norwegian Cup, says Biosphere. Oh, that's a shame. Doesn't normally bottle it in finals, does he? And can't see Roma overcoming this, says Manchester Skulls 18. Poole would still be potent and their defence is much improved since Van Dijk came there. Well, it was Al-Shari, however you announce it, who was through there. His first touch, he cut it back. I think, first few minutes have a shot. And they are in here. Ooh, just wide. Goal kick. So, first minute, Roma pushing. Dzeko will be more than a competitor with Van Dijk, so I think that's going to be an interesting one. Ed Woodward saying that Roma have got a chance. They've always got a chance. The first goal is massively important. They've got to get the first goal, Roma, and I think their tactics at Anfield last week was like they'd never ever seen what Liverpool have been doing this season. They should have sat deep and hit them on the break, and they didn't. They came out. They started off quite well, but then they totally and utterly messed it up. But Van Dijk's read that one quite well. But they're trying to get in behind Liverpool early on, and that's good. But remember, this happened at the Etihad as well, didn't it? And Manchester City did score early on, and Liverpool still rode that storm. So, a long old night for Roma, and they've just got to take it in phases, I feel. Get that first goal, and then take it in from there. But I'm not saying they will get that first goal. Liverpool have not done anything on the attack yet. It's all Roma. Skinny Devil says Al-Shawari has had more clubs than Tiger Woods. Roma all out attack and pressing, says CR7 Ronaldo. It's interesting about Bayern Munich, isn't it? Because we've been doing quite a few watch-alongs on the Champions League, and I said that Bayern Munich, I hadn't really watched them until I watched them the first leg against Sevilla, and I hadn't watched them until the semi-finals really. And I saw something today that the Julian Weigl, who's at Borussia Dortmund, and has been linked to Manchester United a little bit, and then I read the same old story again. He's probably going to go to Bayern Munich, and this is Bayern Munich's problem. They buy all the talent. It would be like Manchester City buying United's best players, Chelsea's best players, Liverpool best players, Spurs best players every summer. They totally and utterly dominate that league, Bayern Munich in Germany. It's not a competitive league. It's basically whoever comes second has done well, because it's always going to be Bayern Munich. But then, like PSG, what happens is they've got a really good 11, but they're never really tested. So then when they do come up against a test, and they did okay in that test last night, but okay is not good enough. They don't win those games because they're not in a competitive league. And Bayern Munich need to, they need a stronger league. Oh, I thought a Roma player was going to get on that corner then. It was a lovely cross, and it was there waiting to be hit on. But this is where Liverpool can be dangerous on the break. It was a lovely corner in for Roma, and it just needed somebody to oosh it home, and not quite there. Sebastian Douglas says, for the next 90 minutes, I'm the biggest Roma fan of all time. Remember, if you're new to That's Football, click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. We're going to try and get to 28,500 tonight. And daily content at midday on That's Football, and then we've got watch-alongs for you for the big games. So we did Real Madrid last night. We're doing Atletico Madrid Arsenal tomorrow night as well, and we've got Chelsea Liverpool for you on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League, and we've got the El Clasico on Sunday night, which is Real Madrid Barcelona. So lots coming on, as well as all your latest transfer news. De Rossi just giving Salah a little knee in the thigh there, trying to give him a bit of a dead leg. No yellow card. I think at Anfield he might have got a yellow card there. But I'd be very happy with this start if I was Roma. I mean, this is what I think, I don't know about your club, and I know we get a lot of Manchester United fans here, but this is what I mean about Manchester United, that where they get it wrong at Old Trafford, and Mourinho wonders why the crowd are never up for it. Roma need the crowd tonight. What have they done in the first 5 minutes? They've took risks, they've put balls over the top, they've pressed, they've cooked the crowd. The crowd were cooking before, but once the game kicks off, the players have got to keep that crowd cooking. And if they'd sat back and been a bit defensive, which they're never going to do, then that might have caused them a few, the crowd might have gone quiet. They're not. They're up for it because they can see Roma are going for it. And Robertson, Dzeko, cut back. Needed someone to be gambling a little bit there. But good start this by Roma. They'll be happy. Definitely trying to get men into the box. Long distance shot. Just wide from Florenzini. Roma fans are booing Salah apparently. I'll tell you what, this shot from Florenzini, I'd like to see it from behind the goal, because the goalkeeper for Liverpool doesn't make much of an effort, and then late on I think he thinks, ooh, maybe I should. It's a tactical game of chess this though for Roma. They've got to press, but they've also got to make sure that they sort of make Liverpool keep a defensive mindset, because it's hard to change your mindset in a game. And if they can make Liverpool feel that they've got to defend, then Liverpool will find it hard to come out of that when they need to. To be honest with you, if I was Roma, my ideal scenario would be 2-0, 10 minutes to go. Because Liverpool will definitely think we've got to defend this out, and then if you get the goal, you're through. I wouldn't want it to be 3-0 with 20 minutes to go, because then Liverpool are going to have a go at it and you're going to defend. I'd want to be 2-0, 10 minutes to go, and then if you get that goal in the last 10 minutes, you know that they're done. But we're a long way from that, and of course it could be set up for Roma to Liverpool to hit them on the break. Edward Wood says he's feeling a 1-1. It's very hard to come back from 5-2. Very hard. Liverpool taking a few tumbles here, as is their right, away from home, win a few free kicks. Kill the pressure a bit. Collar off through the back of Salah. Skinny Devil says, I miss watching Pjanic at Roma. Better player there, I think. He's been quite good for Juventus. I mean, they're going to win the league by the looks of it. Fortnite Spark TV says, I can see Roma 5-0. Tell you what, if it's that would be hilarious. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there, but I think Van Dijk's got the pace to get back. The interesting thing about Liverpool is I think their front three is more than capable of causing anybody a problem, but I think their midfield and their defence is more than capable of causing them problems. So oh God, that's just a mistake by Nainggolan there, and it's that's it. Stupid mistake by Nainggolan. Liverpool very, very fortuitous, and that's 1-0 to Roma. Just absolutely ridiculous from Roma. Manolas made the mistake as well. Fucking idiots. Absolute idiots. You can't. I mean, that'll be music to Liverpool fans' ears, of course. But I don't know whether. Well, it probably is. Roma have got to score 4 now. and Liverpool only need one more goal to cancel it out. But you can't do that at any level of football. Roma have just been atrocious in both of these games. Absolutely atrocious. Stupid Nainggolan, who I rate, and Manolas, hesitate. It's a bad pass and then it's a hesitation as well. And Liverpool now are just going to keep running at their back four, and it's just so easy for them. So easy. Got to change the score. I mean, without taking anything away from Liverpool, the reality is they've been very, very lucky getting Roma in the semi-finals, because I think Bayern Munich or Real Madrid would have absolutely battered them. Good cross in there by Dzeko. Nainggolan's going to shoot into the stadium. He's clearly wearing a Scouser shirt, isn't he, underneath that Roma top there tonight. He's playing, having an absolute nightmare. And he knows it. I'm trying to find where the score is here. There we go. It's a shame, because I think Roma had the right mindset and they started off quite well. But when you make mistakes like that, you can live. Well, it's hard, but you can live when you get cut open by a very good piece of play. But when you hand somebody they hand them a goal like that, it's just awful from Roma, really bad. And they were the same in Anfield, weren't they? For an Italian team to keep a clean sheet against Barcelona and then do what they've done in this semi-final against Liverpool is just baffling, absolutely baffling. But Liverpool, the game changes now because they've got all the confidence in the world, and if they can get another away goal, then it absolutely nullifies anything Liverpool want to do. See, I don't think Liverpool started the game off that well, but they're suddenly like really tails are wagging now because they've got that confidence and that belief, as they should do. I tell you, he's had a teeth job as well. Klopp's had his teeth done. I saw his interview before the game, and he's like, he ain't got dirty yellow teeth anymore now. They're like pristine white. To be honest, Liverpool have had a couple of penalty shouts in this as well. Champions League semi-final though, you shouldn't have teams as bad as Roma in it. I mean, Barcelona have got a lot to answer for, and maybe Liverpool would have beaten Barcelona anyway, but how Barcelona, as champions of Spain, with the quality they've got, how did they lose to this? It was a buy into the final for whoever got it, really, wasn't it? And maybe Roma can produce something miraculous again, but in the two ties, in the 100 minutes we've had now, they've been absolutely atrocious against Liverpool. Yeah, Xander's right. You can't afford to give the ball away like that. It's just sloppy, really sloppy. And actually, why was Nainggolan playing a pass backwards anyway? They need to get 3 goals. He should have been looking to play passes forward. But, he's done another crap pass there as well. He's lucky. They're overcommitting, and now Liverpool have got a 4v4 here. Salah, straight at the keeper. Mane scored. Scott X27HD basically saying that I'd said once that any manager that lets Liverpool in the Champions League should be sacked. I don't know whether I said that, but I certainly would agree that I've said that if it happens on their watch, it's unacceptable. And of course, it happened on Sir Alex Ferguson's watch before. So goal for Roma, own goal, 1-1. So we're pretty much back where we were 14 minutes ago. So it's game on. It's game on, because actually, if it was 0-0 with 14 minutes, I'd still be quite relaxed for Roma. So fortuitous goal But actually, in the law of averages, it was a soft goal that they gave away from a mistake, and it's Lovren who blasts it into Milner's face, and it goes back towards the goal. Very, very lucky, very unlucky for Liverpool, but from a neutral point of view, or a Liverpool hater, or whatever you are, it keeps it interesting. It's 1-1. Drawty's with us. Good, good. Liverpool on the attack here. There could be loads of goals in this. I mean, the problem is when Liverpool get their second, which I'm sure they are going to in a game like this, then that nullifies the away goal things. Liam says, if Liverpool win the Champions League, Manchester United's worst season ever. You could argue that. Funny enough, me and Drawty were on about this the other day, that if Liverpool win the Champions League, Arsenal win the Europa League, Manchester City win the league, and Chelsea win the FA Cup, then you've got to argue that that's the worst season of my lifetime as a United fan. I can't think of a worse one. I mean, obviously Man City winning the title with the last kick was bad because of that moment, but in the wider scheme of honours, I don't think there's anything worse than that. But here we go, Liverpool are in down the left-hand side here. It's very open at the moment. Roma sort of need to... Shot wide. Roma need to sort of get their selves together here. They've had a lucky break. Is this a corner? Don't know how that's a corner. No, it's not. Yeah, Roma need to get themselves ahead, get themselves sorted out here a little bit, because Liverpool are very much in this game, and it's getting end-to-end sort of thing, and a little bit ragged, and that will suit Liverpool. Roma just sort of need to, they don't need to chase this game too much. I know they still need 3 goals, but they should be dictating the player, and at the moment it's all Liverpool. Yeah, Nainggolan's not had a good game at all. A few people saying that. But Mourinho last week, when he was asked about Salah, he didn't directly say it. I don't think he'd ever directly say it because it's dangerous to say it. But I think he was saying, I wish Salah all the best. Which, I understand why he's saying that. But by wishing Salah all the best, is that not saying I hope Liverpool win the Champions League? I don't know whether Mourinho... I actually hope nobody ever asks Mourinho, what do you think about Liverpool in the Champions League? Because if he said I wish them all the best, oh my God, somebody needs to tell Mourinho not to say that, because it's the sort of thing he'd come out with, judging by what he's been like in press conferences this season. And whilst he might believe that, and we've got to respect that, you just can't say it as a United manager. Nainggolan again, his passing is rubbish. Under no pressure, he's overcooking his passes. So we're coming up for 20 minutes in. Ideally, Roma probably would be looking after 20 minutes to be 1-0 up, but they were 1-0 down. They're 1-1 now, so they'll take that. Collar off. Poor. There we go. So, Will Fellaini stay, says Karan. I'll let the live comments talk about that. I personally think he shouldn't be anywhere near the United team on Friday, because you can't come out and basically slate the club like that. You can't. But, Mourinho, I guarantee he'll probably start him. So, it's got an overlap here, Roma. Use it. Oh no, he's not used it. Dzeko trying to shoot. Don't pass it there. Collar off. Rolls it in. Corner ball. Now they had a good corner. They had a good corner in the first 10 minutes that nobody got on the end of. So it's a slow process for Roma to get back into this game, but they are at the moment. Do I think it's possible, video gamer? It's a lot harder now, even though it's 0-0, 1-1's the same. It's just the fact that if Liverpool get another goal, that they've cancelled out the away goals. So it's a harder task now. Now, obviously they've lost 20 minutes as well, but they've got a good corner delivery. If I was Roma, if you get a few more corners, I think they can get a goal in this. But got good height on it as well. I thought it was a handball there. It's a free kick to Liverpool. Daz Gaming says there's going to be a Dzeko goal coming in. I don't think that was even a foul on Lovren at all. Didn't see any connection. He's crap, isn't he? Lovren's crap. I think even Liverpool fans accept that. Sander Sagers, one of the modern United fans, saying that Liverpool are better than Roma and they'll go through. Been a lot of controversy on Twitter today. It's nothing to do with me for a change, which is nice. A couple of United fans saying that you know, they want Liverpool to win because they hate Real Madrid. That's caused a lot of problems with hardcore United. Well, not even hardcore. I mean, there's no club in the world I would want to win the Champions League other, you know, over Liverpool. You know, I'm getting my words around there. Like, there's no team I would rather not win it than Liverpool. There's no team. I don't hate any team as much as Liverpool, and Liverpool fans are the same as well. You know, they would. There's no team in the world they would want not to win it other than United. Boo Ryder says it's hard to believe Milner and Lovren are playing at this level. Well, Henderson as well. He's crap. And I don't just say that as a Liverpool fan. I say it as somebody who watches England. He is atrocious. I cannot stand Henderson. I think he's an absolute crap player. But Roma's strength is putting balls into the box. They're trying to do that a little bit more now. "24 minutes to half time. I think Roma are they're gonna need one before half time. I don't, you know, 3 goals in the second half. It's not impossible, as Steven Gerrard and Liverpool will know. You can score 3 goals in 45 minutes, but it would certainly, you'd want to have that one, because then it will dictate what Klopp's going to say at half time. If they've got to get 3, Klopp will be a bit like, you know, let's try and hit him on the break a little bit more because we've got a bit of room for manoeuvrability. If Roma are like, they've only got to get 2 in the second half, I can see Klopp being a little bit more defensive minded, which is exactly what Roma want. I think I like about Roma as well is they like to use the flanks because they know they've got good ability in the air. But you've got to put better balls in the box than that. Carius collects. I'd agree. I think Liverpool fans even know that themselves. They need to improve massively, but they're dreaming the dream, aren't they, at the moment? And their front 3 is very, very good. Their front 3 is up there with the best in Europe, and that's been enough for them so far. But having said that, you look at Real Madrid's run to the final. I mean, they had a very hard group. People forget that. They had Spurs and Dortmund. It was probably the toughest group. Then they had PSG in the last 16, quarterfinals Juventus, semi-finals Bayern Munich. So, you know, their easiest tie on paper is going to be the final, because Liverpool and Roma on paper aren't as good as PSG or Juventus or maybe Juventus, but not Bayern. Andrew Ellis says Klopp has done a better job than Jose in the Champions League by getting the best out of an average bunch and turning them into world beaters. Yeah, you know what though? I think it's a little bit more. Here we go, Roma making mistakes again. I think it's a little bit more than that actually, because I don't think it's just that. I think it's actually that the approach to the game at the moment is something I was speaking about. I think I tweeted it a couple of days ago and people misconstrued it. What I was basically saying is that Mourinho's a little bit unlucky because he's quite a conservative manager, and that used to work for 15 years. But we're in this modern era of football. Attacking football will win games. Attacking football is winning. Look at what Man City are doing. Look at what Liverpool are doing, especially in the Premier League. These are teams that defensively aren't that good. I mean, you look at how much Man City have spent on their defence. It's not that good. Liverpool's defence is not that good. But their attack is very good. And at the moment, if you've got a good attack and you attack people, then what a save that was. Great run by Robertson, cuts it back to Mane, and it's the feet of the keeper for Roma that puts it wide. But it was a lovely run by Robertson. I mean, he must be, I don't know what Liverpool's Player of the Year awards are, but he must be most improved. He's been absolutely fantastic for them, and they probably should have scored there, Mane. He probably should have scored. good save with the keeper's feet. And Klopp's loving that. Yes, but what I was saying before, it's like attack is the way to go. And many fans know this, and it's very, very clear that you've got to attack at the moment. And the reason for that is that Mourinho might be able to shut Liverpool down and Man City down because he's a very good defensive coach, and he's proved that, hasn't he? Oh no, Liverpool scored. I thought it was offside. I don't know why it's not offside. It's been given. That's probably put them in the final. It's Alexander-Arnold. I'd have to watch that one back again. It's, again, terrible defending from Roma. Oh yeah, they've got a player on the line. He was never offside in a million years anyway. He was never offside. Absolutely never offside. Well, that proves the point I was just trying to make there, that actually that Andrew Ellis was talking about Mourinho there. Look, Mourinho's style of football is to be defensive, and that might work when he plays Liverpool. As I say, Liverpool haven't scored against United this season, and it might work when he plays Manchester City. But when the other 19 clubs in the Premier League play Man City and Liverpool, they get obliterated. And the reason for that is because at the moment, the world of football has got far more better attackers than it has got defenders. There's not many good defenders about. So the way to win and be successful at the moment in football is to attack. But Mourinho doesn't want to do that because it's not what's kept him successful for years and years and years. So in the Champions League, Liverpool have attacked, and look, it's benefited them. United went to Sevilla and defended, and Sevilla attacked, and they won. And Mourinho's style of play, I wouldn't say it's archaic because it's been successful. It's got them to second in the league, and it's got them cups, but it's a problem. And I think when you look back to certainly around the time when he was at Inter Milan and things like that, there was a lot of players that were good defensively. At the moment, as we've seen with Roma tonight, defensively absolutely shocking. And if you want to be successful in the modern game at the moment, attack, and that's been proved along. And actually, the final is going to be Roma. Sorry, not going to be Roma. It's going to be Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Two very, very attacking sides. So, but yeah, Premier League and in the Champions League, there's not much benefit being a well organised defensive side at the moment because attacks are going to attack you, and that's the way of the world. And for fans, it's far more entertaining. But in this game, Roma have just been terrible, absolutely terrible. And the thing for Roma now is that it's not just 4 goals. They need 5 goals to win, because even if they got 5-2, they've lost both their away goals in half an hour as well. Lots of people watching anyway, so subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's Football. It's a channel for everybody to get involved in. Got daily sort of transfer news, football news, and we do the big matches as a watch along. So tomorrow night we're doing Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal tomorrow night, which I think is going to be a very interesting game as well. And Liverpool, this is a bit similar to the Man City game, really, isn't it? You expected Man City in the second leg to cause Liverpool problems, but this is the way to beat Liverpool. And I would, if I was a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't be confident, but I'd certainly believe you can beat Real Madrid, because the way to beat Liverpool, and Mourinho has shown that actually, is not to give him any space at the back. And everybody does. And I'll guarantee you now, Real Madrid will, because Real Madrid are favourites, so they'll be well up for it, and they will give space at the back. But very easy, very, very easy for Liverpool in this game, because both goals have just been atrocious defending. And you wouldn't have thought that, would you? You'd have thought, well, the one thing you're going to get in these 2 legs is good defensive play from the Italians and poor defensive play from Liverpool. And what we've actually seen is the other way round. Jake Bullman says, Mark, you must be hating this as a man. Yeah, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it for many reasons. One, I don't like Liverpool, and two, I actually wanted to see a good game tonight, and you don't expect this in the Champions League semi-final. I mean, my biggest frustration is not with Liverpool. If Liverpool gets to the final, then I'm sorry. They deserve to be in the final, don't they? They've not. I've watched Liverpool from the quarterfinals, and they deserve to beat Man City, and they definitely deserve to beat Roma. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. But as a Manchester United fan, then the biggest blame has to be with Manchester United because we've had chances in this game. We were in this tournament and we went out to Sevilla. But my biggest frustration is actually with Barcelona because I can't see, we all said it when the Champions League draw happened. If you get Roma, you're pretty much in the final unless you mess up. I didn't feel Roma could replicate what they did against Barcelona. But having watched Roma over the last two legs, I can't for the life of me see how Barcelona didn't put these away. I really can't. I mean, are you telling me that Liverpool are better than Barcelona? Because that's the interpretation. Liverpool have had no problem with this Roma side over two legs. But Barcelona, yeah, they beat them at the Nou Camp. But in Rome, they were atrocious. And I think Barcelona are the ones that are the embarrassment in this. Game theory. I'm not hating at all. If Liverpool gets the final, they deserve to get there. But, I can't and will not sit and lie and be a hypocrite when everyone knows I'm a Manchester United fan and say, yeah, best of luck to Liverpool. That's just not going to happen. I'm not from that modern generation that says, oh, I don't really care about the rivalry as long as it's an English club to win. In an ideal world, I want Liverpool. I don't want Liverpool to win. I want Roma to win. But they don't bloody deserve to. They've been absolutely shite. And I do think that the final between Real Madrid and Liverpool is going to be very, very interesting because I think a lot of people are like, oh, Real Madrid will win it. But Real Madrid are so poor at the back and they do push forward that I think Liverpool will quite fancy that. Defensive football is not the way of the world at the moment, Romez, at all. It really isn't. You've got to attack. You've got to attack. Theon Curtin's right. Klopp's records in the finals are not that good. But the thing is, if you're Liverpool and you play against a team that's going to attack you and let you counter-attack them, then that is perfect for Liverpool. If you're a Manchester United team and you're a team that is going to sit back and hit Liverpool on the break and have two defensive lines, then Liverpool struggle. I mean, let's not forget, Mo Salah's probably the best player in the world at the moment, and Ashley Young, who's one of the worst left backs in England, put him in his pocket because of the system that Mourinho worked on. So Real Madrid will give Liverpool a chance simply because of the way Real Madrid play. And then it's going to be about how good Liverpool's defence is, because if Liverpool's defence can hold up against Real Madrid, then they've got a very good chance. I certainly think Real Madrid will. Certainly think Liverpool will score against Real Madrid. Aqua says, is Coutinho kicking himself? Would Liverpool be in the final with Coutinho? I mean, where does Coutinho play? He'd have to play in the midfield, and that would make their midfield. I mean, Liverpool's midfield three are basically water carriers, aren't they? It's the term that Cantona used for Deschamps when they were playing. Go fetch the water and give it to other people to drink. And the midfield of Liverpool is just a hard-working midfield three. That's not Coutinho. So they'd either have to play him in the midfield three, or they'd have to they've hit the post, just hit the post, Roma there, or they'd have to drop one of Mane or Salah or Firmino, which they're not going to do because they'd lose pace there. So I think Liverpool are probably a better team set up without Coutinho, really. David Lloyd thinks the Scousers are going to destroy Madrid. What I would say is, and obviously this pains me to say it, but if they beat Real Madrid, nobody can say anything about luck. If you beat the twice, Real Madrid are going for 3 Champions Leagues in a row. if Liverpool beat them in a neutral ground in the final, then you can say, well, how have Liverpool won it? Because they're 4th or 3rd in the Premier League. But if you beat Real Madrid in the Champions League final and you've got there by beating other teams like the Premier League champions Man City, then there's nowhere to hide, is there? I will be hiding this summer if Liverpool win the Champions League. Of course I will. I'll be absolutely gutted. But, you know, on reflection, you can't say that they haven't deserved it unless they get something ridiculously lucky in the final. But put yourself... It's a lottery, isn't it? You get yourself to the final. It's not 2 legs. It's 1 leg. And anything can happen in 90 minutes. You know, Sergio Ramos could mistime a tackle in the first 10 minutes. Real Madrid down to 10 men. Liverpool pick them off. Anything can happen in one game. Championship teams pass better than Italian league teams, says Max Langdon. I watch a lot of Italian football, and what I've always said about it, and I think it's demonstrated and evidenced really well with Paul Pogba, is it's a lot slower than the Premier League, and you can really cause Italian teams a lot of problems if you play quickly, because it is slower. They do have good players, but it's interesting this season that Arsenal easily dealt with AC Milan. Liverpool are easily dealing with Roma. I think Man City easily dealt with Napoli, and Spurs messed up against Juventus in a 10-minute period. So can Roma score 4? Well, they haven't scored 1 yet. Mane's just left Nainggolan for dead, and then he got caught up. Dylan says Liverpool are going to beat Real Madrid as well. Well, they'll dream the impossible dream, won't they? Mr. Michael says Van Dijk has vastly improved Liverpool's defence. I was impressed with Liverpool's defence against Manchester City at the Etihad, although I don't think Man City were really in the right frame of mind. Dealing with Roma's attack doesn't make you a top class defender. I mean, I don't think Roma are that great, and I still think Liverpool's defence and midfield is a weakness, but their attack is so good. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're only 23 subscribers away from 28,500. We're trying to get to 30,000 before the end of the season. His salary could make it 3. Good block and corner. Liverpool are just picking them off on the break now, and you can tell that Roma are just... You know, this is the thing, isn't it? Roma just don't have the fitness levels. They needed to... What Roma needed to do in this game was keep it to 0, obviously, and just chip away at Liverpool's confidence, and they haven't. They've allowed Liverpool to get their confidence up, and that's caused, and is now causing them all sorts of problems, because Liverpool are running on adrenaline, fast, and Roma can't keep up with them. The final is going to be two attacking teams against 2 attacking teams. I mean, Fotar says, I hope Mourinho is watching this and self-reflecting. I don't think he will. I think Mourinho will say, well, it's not my... The thing is, and he's right as well, if you look at Mourinho's season, okay, he will be thinking, next season, as long as I pick up points, we don't drop points against Huddersfield and Newcastle and West Brom, then we'll probably win the league. Well, it's only 9 points, so we probably won't win the league with that. But... nearly a penalty to Roma there. The ref's not having it. But that's not... Manchester United and Mourinho's problem with his philosophy is that, alright, he can draw at Anfield and he can stop Liverpool beating them at Old Trafford, but can Everton stop Liverpool or Man City, or are they going to gift them 6 points? That's where Mourinho's problem is. His defensive way of playing will still benefit Manchester United, and they will still grind out results. But when the wider league isn't defensive and is poor defensively, all these attacking teams are just going to clock up massive goal difference and massive amounts of points by blitzing teams who've got bad defence. And so United, I don't think Mourinho will self-reflect. I think he'll think, well, actually my style of play is still very effective. It's for everybody else to sort themselves out. But I don't see the quality of defensive tactics out there to make me think that Liverpool or Manchester City in the Premier League are going to be any different next season. I think they're just going to still blitz a lot of these teams because they're going to still be poor defensively. Oh, here we go, Liverpool. Well, Mane's made himself look a brat there. Don't know why the Roma players just ran up to him about something. There was a dive by the Roma player as well. 16 subscribers away from 28,500, so bottom right hand corner, subscribe if you are new. Monday to Friday midday we have a football news show live, and then any of the big games we do a watch along like we are doing tonight, where we'll be doing it tomorrow night as well. Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Now that one I think is going to be slightly more interesting than this, because with it being 1-1, Atletico Madrid have got the away goal. Obviously, I mean, Arsenal will be kicking themselves, weren't they? They played for 80 minutes with 10 against 10 men, and they drew the game 1-1. I mean, Atletico Madrid, I'm tempted to say they got out of jail, but they didn't. They were playing Arsenal, and that's what Arsenal do. You'd think Atletico Madrid tomorrow should be okay. I mean, Arsenal are going to have to score 0-0 and they're out. So Arsenal know they've got to score tomorrow. How will Atletico Madrid approach it? Side netting? Or it's not even the side netting. So we're 4 minutes away from half time. I mean, a lot of people are saying this game's over. You're probably right, but this part of me just thinks it depends what happens in the first 10 minutes of the second half. If Roma got a couple of goals, it would make it interesting, but Retro City says, is second in the Premier League any better than third or fourth? It is, because second is better than third or fourth, but I think in the context of this Premier League season, it's not massively impressive, because I hear a lot of United fans saying, well, any other season we'd win the league. Well, I don't think we would. I still think Chelsea win the league last season, but you can't say that. You can't say that because every season is different. Every season's different. You can't say, well, if we had 80-something points that any other year we'd win the league. Well, technically you're right, but you can't put one season's performance into another season. It's totally different. So Mane is absolutely destroying Nainggolan. You wouldn't want him anywhere near the Premier League. So going back to that, I think Man City have annihilated everybody so much that second place, really, there's no great joy in it, because it's still going to be double figures behind Man City, isn't it? So it's not that great. Who scored for Liverpool? It was an own goal from Milner for Roma, but they opened up the scoring with... They might get another one here, Firmino. They opened up the scoring with Mane, and then it was Ronaldo, wasn't it, who got the second one. Both terrible bits of defending by Roma, but they're in here. El Shawari against Lovren. It's a foul and a yellow card. I think Lovren was probably a little bit unlucky there, because El Shawari slipped. I think if he'd stayed on his feet, he was going to leave Lovren for dead. But yeah, I don't think there was much in that, in fairness. But, in the context of the game, it would at least make it interesting if Roma could get a goal right before half-time. Are Liverpool a better team than City, Donald Parker? I'll leave that to live comments. It's a fantastic question. I mean, my initial reaction is no, they're not. But they played 2 games against each other, and Liverpool beat them, and they beat them at Anfield. And I know Man City beat them in at the Etihad, but they were down to, oh my God, what sort of free kick was that? Pellegrini, he's crap as well. So yeah, I mean, Man City, brilliant season in the Premier League, but I think that's the big frustration for Pep and Man City, isn't it? That yes, you're the better team in the Premier League, but Liverpool have beaten you 3 times this year. So you could say Liverpool are better than Man City. Klopp certainly got Pep's number. Yeah, I think if you could give Real Madrid and Ashley Young and David De Gea, then they'd be okay. Matthew McFadden says, in 40 years, I'll tell my girl and grandkids that I was there when Karius, Milner, Henderson and Lovren made up the spine of a Champions League final team. I hope it's not going to be a Champions League winning team, because that would be horrible. But it's half-time, and Roma have well and truly bottled it. Well, yeah, they have bottled it because it's been 2 massive mistakes. And you make mistakes like that defensively, it's just not something that you expect from Italian clubs at all. So, yeah, very, 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 very disappointing from Roma for not making it a decent game. I said before I didn't think Roma were going to do it. I certainly don't think they're going to do it now. Having said that, I've seen things happen in second halves before. I'd certainly give it till 60 minutes, and if it's still not on them, then it's not on them. But the fact that Liverpool are actually winning this game makes it different. Video Gamer says, never know, Mark. They could come back, fam. They could do. I think Nainggolan, Kieran, has been absolutely atrocious in that game. Rubbish is what I would say. There's players at Roma that I actually quite rate. Nainggolan, Manolas, but especially in these games, they've been shocking. I wouldn't want them anywhere near Manchester United. Because you can watch them play in Serie A and they can play really, really well. But until they come up against the pace of the Premier League, then that's when you really start to see. And no, just not good enough. Not good enough at all. In both legs, very, very poor. And let's not forget, Nainggolan's knocking on the door of 30, isn't he now? So Atletico Madrid Arsenal will be a tense game tomorrow, I agree. But I would hope that Arsenal do go and give it a go, because Arsenal aren't a defensive team. I'd be interested to see how Atletico Madrid approach it, really. In relation to, if I was picking it, I do like Real Madrid because I like Ronaldo. I say I like Real Madrid. I think Zidane's done a really good job there. He's built a team rather than individuals. But I also feel that Bayern Munich were probably better equipped to beat Liverpool, because Bayern Munich have a better emphasis on their back four and protecting their back four, whereas Real Madrid don't. And I think Liverpool can really get at Real Madrid's back four. And that obviously means Liverpool can score goals. And if Liverpool's back four and midfield three do well against Real Madrid and shut them out, then Liverpool can win that game. Whereas I just think Bayern Munich would have dealt with Liverpool better. But we'll see. We'll see. I did rate Manolas Yasser. I've just spoken about him, yeah. But you know, you can rate somebody from what you see of them in Serie A. But as I say, when you see them up against the speed of the Premier League, and the one thing I've always said is, yes, I like Italian football, but it is definitely slower. It's definitely slower than the Premier League, and we've seen that this season. I mean, how Spurs basically got knocked out by Juventus. Spurs should have beaten Juventus. Spurs in Turin were all over Juventus, and they just got sucker punched by a very experienced Juventus team over 20 minutes at Wembley, and that cost them. But I think if Spurs actually had a backbone, they would have beaten Juventus, which means it would have been a clean sweep this season for when Premier League clubs have come up against Serie A, because it's a quicker league. Matt Grease, yes, I mentioned that before. He says, is that why Pogba's so inconsistent? Yeah, I think this is the reason that Pogba's taken time to adjust to the Premier League, is because it's slower in Juventus. Well, he was at Juventus, but it's slower in the Italian league. So, yeah, that is a reason. Phil F says, give Madrid the cup now. I wouldn't. I really think Liverpool can get at Real Madrid. On paper, Real Madrid should win that game, but it's not over 2 legs. It's one game, and anything can happen in a game of football. As I said, you could have somebody getting sent off. You just don't know what's going to happen. Kevin, I like it. He says, what I like about Italian football is how they pass the ball. And it's depressing times for Manchester United fans, says Suraj. I think Jose Mourinho's got his press conference tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody actually asks him about Liverpool, because if he says congratulations and I wish them all the best in the final, he's going to cause himself some problems. He should say, I don't want to talk about that. That's any news on Milinkovic-Savic. Kieran Burns says, yes, I'm going to mention him on the Transfer Daily tomorrow. If you are a follower of the United Stand, we're doing a Transfer Daily show at 7 AM every morning, Monday to Friday at the moment. It's show 3. It's going to be here all summer, but Milinkovic-Savic will be spoken about for the show tomorrow, because I've already got the list of players that I want to talk, and maybe 1 or 2 that might come up a bit later if there's any news. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're getting very close to 28,500, so if you are new, you're very, very welcome. Get involved in the live comments. Make sure that you watch tomorrow night Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Watch along for that. And we've got the World Cup. We've got loads of games. We'll be doing the Europa League final. We'll be doing the Champions League final, obviously, as well. I don't know whether I'll do the watch along for that. I'll be a little bit. I don't think I should do the Champions League final. I will say that now, because it's too. I can't be neutral. I don't want Liverpool to win it. I can just about do the semi-final because I've watched it. Liverpool deserve to win it, but in the final, if Liverpool are winning, I just can't watch that. So I don't think I can do the Champions League final because I can't be neutral. Do you watch Championship football, says the Master NW? I don't actually. I don't think I've actually watched one game this season. I keep an eye on it for like who's coming up and stuff like that, but I haven't watched a game of Championship football this year. There's so many other. The thing is, when you've got Premier League, and then you know there's the La Liga, there's the Italian league, and then you've got individual games off other leagues that you want to watch. There's not a lot of time to be watching other stuff. Well, there is, but not in my life because I've got lots of other things to do. Shell says that Real Madrid winning 3 in a row is worse than Liverpool winning the Champions League. Depends who you support, Shells, because if you're a United fan, no United fan's ever going to say that. Yazza, I don't think I can do the Champions League final. I dislike Liverpool too much. Do it on the United stand? No chance. No. I will be, I think on that Champions League night, I will be in a pub somewhere and I might not even watch it. You know what? I might not watch it because I just so don't want them to win the final just because of the rivalry with United. I don't think I could watch it. I think I'd just get too stressed. I'd rather just go on my phone, BBC Football, Real Madrid, 2-0 up, get another pint in and leave it. You know, we'll see. I'll tell you what we are doing this on the United stand though. We are doing a Champions League final watch along. I think it's on the 21st. It's a Monday night on the United stand because it's 10 years since we won the 2008 Champions League. So I've got the DVD of the final. So I'm just going to put it on and do a Champions League watch along. So that's going to be a good little bit of a laugh. But Hassan still thinks Roma could come back. You never know. You know, we've just spent, you know, you do know, but you don't know because we've just spent the first half saying how defensive football's dead, really, because there's not enough good defenders now, so you've got to attack. But I think Liverpool look quite comfortable with what Roma have got. I think Roma need a couple of goals very, very quickly in the first 15 minutes of this game, and then it makes it interesting. But it's you know, their defence has caused them all sorts of problems in this. It is 50 years since '68 as well, James Carter. Yeah, even if Roma scored 4 goals to get to five, it's extra time. So yeah, depends what their mindset is, isn't it? They'd need to be absolutely rocking, and everyone would need to be absolutely on their game as well. The Unambiguous says, typical United fan, not from Manchester. Yeah, that comment's probably about 50 years too late, mate, considering we're watching a Liverpool Roma game. I'm quite good friends with somebody who lives just down the road from me who runs a big Liverpool website. So, you know, there's a lot of Liverpool... In fact, I know 4 or 5 Liverpool fans who live close to me. They're not from Liverpool either. So, silly little comments like that we can block in future moderators because whatever club you support, it is such a knobhead, idiotic comment to start saying you're not from that city, so why do you support them? It's about 50 years too late as well. Andrew Wright says, so many bitter fans saying not fair, Liverpool winning. Thanks for the contribution, pal. And Jack Alberti says, hi Mark, the F1 expert is in the house. Hi Jack. Yes, we had an F1 watch along at the weekend on my channel, the Mark Goldbridge channel. I think it's called Goldbridge Livestream actually, where I watch other sports that I like and do watch along. So if you're into Formula 1, get onto Goldbridge Livestream channel and subscribe. I think the next one isn't this weekend, it's the weekend after, isn't it? But I'll do my little FIFA predicts on there as well. I might do a FIFA predicts Champions League final to make myself feel better, and I'll do it on easy and I'll be Real Madrid. And I'll just do it between now and the final, battering them to get my mental state right. Kevin's right, football is a global passion. Hala Madrid says, we can't play Casemiro versus Liverpool. Kovacic is needed for this press. Mark Willis says, is it true that Manchester United are playing Fellaini and Crouch up front next season? Never say never. And Deadpool Universe says, I am a United fan and I hate to say it, but I wish United had Liverpool's football philosophy currently. Well, I think that's one thing that many United fans would concede to Liverpool, and we never want to concede anything to them, but you know, the way they play football is exactly the way we used to and should be playing football. I agree with that. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, I tweeted this morning and had a lot of people giving me crap on Twitter as normal because I said that it's, you know, De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world and I love him, but it's a disgrace that he's the player of the year for the 4th time in 5 years because I grew up with Schmeichel in goal and Van der Sar in goal, world-class keepers. They'd never be anywhere near winning player of the year because they were playing in attacking teams. The reason our goalkeeper is winning player of the year at the moment is because our attack is crap and we are a very defensive side. and we're very reliant on our goalkeeper. And that must change next season. Do I wish United got Klopp, James? No, I don't, because this is going to sound really obvious, really stupid, because they're about to get in the Champions League final and they could win it. But Klopp's a bottler, and he could still be a bottler in the final. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, who have they played to get to the final? Porto, Roma. I mean, realistically, Spurs should be beating them, although that's a big ask for them. Porto, Roma, Man City. They're brilliant. They were brilliant against City. Klopp knows how to school Pep, but they haven't really played anybody that great to get there apart from City. And in the league, they're a long way off. And I just think Klopp. I think Klopp's not got a plan B. I really don't think he's got a plan B. And I think a lot of teams have, against Liverpool, and Real Madrid will do it in the final, so Liverpool fans shouldn't take this negatively. But if you know how to beat Liverpool, there's a way to beat them, and or there's certainly a way to stop them scoring, and that is don't press high up the pitch, keep two banks of four at all times, because Liverpool, a lot of their goals are scored by hitting teams on the break, as we've seen with their first goal today. So don't make mistakes in possession and don't push too high up the pitch and expose your back four. That's how you stop Liverpool from scoring. And over a Premier League season, Klopp will gets found out too many times. He's not got a plan B. You've got to have a plan B. So I don't think Liverpool are ever going to win the Premier League under Klopp, but they're going to get in the Champions League final and win the Champions League potentially. So Philip Hammond, do I hate Sterling and are you a fond of Sane? I like Leroy Sane, I like the style of play, although he was very disappointing in the Champions League. In relation to Sterling, I don't hate footballers, I don't know them, but I don't like Sterling as a footballer. No, he's had a very good season at Manchester City, but I don't watch Manchester City, so I watch him play for England and I find him crap. I just think he's infuriatingly crap with his build-up play. But obviously with very good players around him, he gets a lot more opportunities. I mean, I personally think I'd score 10 goals a season in that Man City team. Just hang around the box and someone's bound to pass it to you. About 5 yards out, tap it in. Second half's away. So realistically, this second half now is really going to be, can Roma do anything in the first 15 minutes of this tie? Because otherwise it's over, isn't it? Dibiati Lahira says, how on earth will Liverpool be bottling it if they lose to Real Madrid? Well, it's a final and you've lost it, isn't it? You know, I hear a lot of Liverpool team fans telling me how great they are, and if you're that great, win the final. If you don't win the final, you bottled it, haven't you? It's a final, you bottled it. If you lose the final, you bottle it, don't you? I mean, Jack wants a spanner here as well. I don't know how many spanners there are here, Jack. There's quite a few spanners here, actually. Salah's offside. I think he thought he was one-on-one there. He got tackled anyway. Salah. Shot. Ola says, are Liverpool playing United this season? They've played them, mate, twice. 0-0 draw at Anfield, and United beat them at Old Trafford. They haven't scored against, this great Liverpool attack haven't scored against United this season. But as I said before, Mourinho will take great pride in that, and it's effective the way he played against them defensively. But you don't play Liverpool every week. You can't just... Football's not like that now. Grinding your way out is not the way to do it, is it? I was looking at that, Kieran, because a lot of people were getting excited saying that Chelsea could get into the top four and knock Liverpool out. Well, Chelsea have got a game in hand. And then they're playing. We're doing the watch along for it on Sunday, and then they're playing Chelsea as well. Chelsea are playing Liverpool. So if Chelsea win their game in hand and beat Liverpool, they'll be level on points. But the goal difference is massively in Liverpool's favour. Chelsea can't pull that goal difference round. So really, it will come down to the last game of the season, where all Liverpool will have to do is win, and they're at home to Brighton, so they're going to win, aren't they? So. Liverpool will finish in the top 4 is what I'm trying to say. Another one here is Prince Oglafor saying that Real Madrid winning 3 in a row is worse. I'd rather have Liverpool winning the Champions League. It depends who you support, mate, because I cannot accept a United fan saying that. If you know what rivalry is really all about. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. Oh, he's offside. Dzeko was offside anyway, because I think it would have been a penalty. He knocked it past the goalkeeper, and he was onside as well. Onside. Definite penalty. Lucky Liverpool. Unlucky Roma. You can't moan about it too much with the score where it is at the moment, but he was definitely onside. Definite penalty there. Linesman fucked that up. Hay versus Bello on Saturday night. I'm doing a watch along on the Mark Goldbridge channel. So if anyone's interested in the boxing, Goldbridge live stream is the channel. Get over there and subscribe, because I'm doing a Hay versus Bello live stream watch along on Saturday night. Looking forward to it. I want Hay to win. Although he was a complete arsehole in the first fight. I've always quite liked Hay. I think it was all an act as well. I thought Bello did well in the Apollo film. Roma have just played shite, haven't they, really? Aaron says, if you want Liverpool to win and you're a United fan, you're a disgrace. I wouldn't go as far as calling him well, I can't on That's Football, but I don't understand it. I think any United fan... And Liverpool fans would say this the same. Any Liverpool fan, if this was role reverse, saying I want United to win the final rather than Real Madrid, Liverpool fans would go mad as well. You know, there is the rivalry is big between Liverpool and Manchester United, and it's a weird one because it's genuine dislike and passionate dislike, but it's because both clubs are quite similar in a way. They've got big histories, big loyal fan bases, and the rivalry is because we want to be better than each other. So I don't know whether it's a modern football phenomenon that there might be United fans out there saying I hope Liverpool win it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But you know, maybe the world of football's changing. I don't know. Kevin O'Callaghan says, how do you think United would have fared against Roma? I think we would have sat back. Probably 0-0. Goal. 2-1 Roma, 2-2 Roma. So they've got one back. If they can get another one back in the next 10 minutes, it would make it quite interesting. 40 minutes to go. I mean, it's all about mindset for Roma, because if they can get into the mindset of, yeah, okay, it's 2-2, but actually, let's pretend it's still 0-0 and we've got to score 3 goals. It's not impossible. Bello to lose just because he's a Scouser, says Danny Smith. Thanks for the contribution. I'm totally lost here. I've lost my score. There it is. 2-2. Well, it makes it a little bit of interest, doesn't it? I still think Liverpool look like they can score on the break, and even in the second half they've done that. But it does show you, though, doesn't it? I mean, the final will be a little bit more equal fan-wise. You know, it's certainly not going to be Anfield, but it's certainly not going to be as intimidating as this is for Liverpool. But as good as Liverpool have been in this tie, and as bad as Roma have, look at how bad Roma have been in this, but Liverpool have still let 4 goals in over 2 legs. And that sort of sums up Liverpool, doesn't it? 7 goals scored in 2 games. Salah's just done a brilliant thing here. And it's back in the keeper. Yeah, Liverpool just need 1 goal to end this game, because then they'll have 3 away goals, whereas Roma only got 2. So if Liverpool were to score next, Roma would need another 5. So, and if I was Klopp, and I'm sure Klopp will be thinking the same, there's no way we're sitting back. Let's try and get that goal, because if we get it, it's over, innit? Dr. Trolley says this season in the Champions League the defences have been shit. They have. But the same as the Premier League. Me and Ross, who's on the United Stand quite regularly, we spoke about this back in October time, and we were saying that the Premier League this season, the standard of defending is shocking. I think we were actually saying the standard of the Premier League this season is shocking. But here we go, Roma again, keeping it in play when he could have let it go for a throw-in. Nangolan's done well there. And then gives it to Liverpool. He's shit. Anyway, so yeah, the defence. It's going to be interesting. The World Cup. The World Cup could be really exciting, because I think the World Cup can be quite. You can get a lot of tight games in the World Cup, but if the World Cup goes the way of the Champions League and the Premier League, there's just so many crap defences there, and there could be loads of goals as well. Ed Woodward, I agree with you. Nangolan's passing has been abysmal tonight. I think if Roma get another goal in the next 10 minutes, it could make it interesting. Free kick. Aqua says another goal and it's game on. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. So Roma need 3, don't they? I think if Roma get within 2 goals of Liverpool, which would mean they need to score another one, then Liverpool's approach to this could get quite interesting. Does Klopp then start to think, I need to go defensive? But we've not had that yet, because Liverpool always seem to get ahead. We will be doing World Cup watch-alongs, Chris Butters, so do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Get your notifications on, because this is the place for all football fans to sit and watch games. I'm looking forward to. I was looking at some of the early games. Uruguay Egypt, I think, is the 2nd or 3rd game. It's on the Saturday about 2 o'clock. Really looking forward to that. Suarez against Salah. So there's some games where we'll just be talking about our favourite crisps, but there are some good games as well. Free kick comes to nothing. 55 minutes gone. Nick Archer says, does anyone know if PSG or Man City are getting hit by financial fair play sanctions again? I did hear something about PSG. I've not read anything about it though. I just heard something. So if anyone knows anything in the live comments. Sushas, do you anticipate tough times ahead for United, or are we past them? Very hard to say. As of now, I don't think United can win the Premier League next season. I think the gap is too big and they need too much renovation work. But having said that, 2nd in the league, potentially going to win an FA Cup. It is progress, so it's hard to say whether good times are ahead or bad. Sometimes you just got to put the ball in the mixer there, Roma. There we go. Belgium-England will be a good game, says Iana. I think that's the 3rd group stage game though, isn't it? So it might not be such a good game, because they both could have maximum points by then, in which case teams normally play their reserves. So, interestingly enough, anyone who's interested in FIFA, I do that on my channel, Goldbridge live stream, and I will be doing a few World Cup I'm going to do one as Brazil, probably do one as France, one as England, sort of like a tournament run through, and they are going to do, FIFA are patching a FIFA World Cup update for free on FIFA 18 at the end of May. So that's going to be some stuff we can do on the channel, which I'm looking forward to. I'll see who I can win it with first. That's my plan. because anyone who's ever watched me play FIFA before, I mean, I'm not bloody KSI level. I play it and it's always competitive, but it's normally good entertainment to watch. Who's going to win the World Cup? Brazil were my dark horse for it, and people saying, well, how can Brazil be a world dark horse? But actually, Brazil are not a great international side at the moment, but I think they could click at the World Cup. Germany probably are a good bet. Spain I didn't think were in it, but then having seen them against Argentina, I think Spain actually do look a little bit better. Spain always remind me of Barcelona without Messi, which means they're a bit, they're very good at knocking the ball about, but a bit toothless. But actually, I think that's a bit unfair on them. I think they're a little bit better than that. So Spain could be quite good. Oh, that was a good cutback by Xhaka. When does the transfer window open, says Fejan? Oh, there's mixed things about this, but apparently it opens up after the Premier League finishes. Corner? No. Offside. England, Danny Milner says, England have got 0 chance of winning the World Cup. I think if England get out the group stage, they've done well, because they've just, I've watched England for many years, and England always bottle it. But they've had good players. When I look at some of the squads England have had compared to the one that they've got now, I mean, and I didn't think they were going to win it then. So we've got no chance of winning it now. I mean, you look at, France's third team would be England's first team. France have got so many good players. But I don't think France will win it either, because I just don't think France have got the mentality. I think they're a bit weak. And also, their manager's rubbish. Oh, nearly a chance there. Lovely ball over the top. I think if it goes anywhere else other than straight at Karius, it's a goal. So, the time's moving okay. I still think Roma probably need a goal. Well, they've got half an hour left. A goal every 10 minutes. They don't need to panic just yet. They do need to get a goal. I'm going to continue doing the F1 watch-alongs. Yes, Aqua. I'm going to be doing some F1 gaming actually. I've got my steering wheel and stuff. So, just had a very busy week this week, but I do intend to start doing some of that on there. Portugal have got a very strong chance, as Harris. I don't know about Portugal. I've not watched them at all, and they're always a bit dodgy in the qualifiers, aren't they? Anthony Muller says Spain, Germany, Brazil and France. There'll be a shocker. There'll be somebody. I just think it's a little... Look, these teams don't deserve to be there, because you've got a long enough qualifying campaign, and if you're not there, you don't deserve to be there. But I do think it's sad that there's no Chile, no Italy, no USA, no Netherlands. It is sad. Liverpool keeping the ball at the moment. Left side. He put it wide anyway, Mane. I'd love Roy Keane to be Jose's assistant, Jack. I think United need exactly that sort of aggression. Jacob, I haven't heard Lingard's rap song. When's he done this? Is this a new thing? Here we go. Put a good cross in, Nainggolan. The Roma nearly scored there. It's a corner. I think they should have scored. Nainggolan's cross is crap, but it bubbles up, hits Dzeko in the head, and then I think that's a handball. That's a penalty. That is. His arms are well up. It's a blatant penalty. Roma have had 2 penalties in this game. think the thing is though, whether it's a penalty or not, how high he's hitting that, I think it's going over anyway, isn't it? Yeah. So Roma should have had 2 penalties in this second half. There's Van Dijk's value for you though. Good cross into the box, and it's his height that wins it. Draughty Devil says only Liverpool could have a 3-goal lead and not be comfortable. See, Graham Poll will probably say that that's not a red card, that's not a handball, but it is, because the ball is there. He's got his hands up high. It's a handball. 2 penalties for me, but I wouldn't get too worried about it, even if I was a Roma fan, because they're still, well, you'd still moan about it, wouldn't you? But they're still so far behind. Jack says it's unbelievable the Champions League doesn't have VAR. I don't like VAR anyway, to be honest. Jacko. He'll have to do it on his own here. Oh, God, how did that not go in as well? Good cross. It's bobbling around the old Liverpool defence so much at the moment. Wide. Liverpool wanted an offside there. It didn't happen. It wasn't offside, that's why. So how can the referee, the linesman, know that that's not offside, but then the one where there was a penalty, when he was onside, didn't get it? It's the joys of inconsistent linesmen. I mean, that's an interesting thing. I mean, Liverpool do give away a lot of chances. So, look, even if they got goals against Real Madrid, how would Klopp approach it? I think Liverpool's best plan should always be attack, 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 because they can't defend. So, even if they went 2-0 up against Real Madrid, you'd fancy Real Madrid with half an hour to create the chances to get back in it, wouldn't you? And Liverpool just can't defend. And I don't think Roma have actually been that good. Bye, Harris Shazad. Shazam! He's gone. Posting fake scores will get you blocked. Uh, 66 minutes. I think Roma need a goal. God. They've got to get 3 goals in 25 minutes. So if they're going to get it back in this game, they're going to need a goal very, very soon. I think they probably deserve one as well. Liverpool defence will allow chances 24 minutes plus. That's from Christian Medina. Thank you, Christian. Subscriber-wise, we might get 28,600 tonight. So do subscribe to the channel if you're new. You're all very welcome. Doesn't matter what club you support. Look, if you're a Liverpool fan, take the banter. You know, you must be very, very happy. Jacko, what the hell was that? Says Ed Woodward. Yeah. Strootman's not on the bench, is he, Anthony? I think he's injured. Which is a big loss for Roma as well. And that's one thing from Liverpool as well, is that they've managed this season to keep, apart from that when he went off in the Champions League first leg, they've managed to keep their Milner again. There we go. This could be it for Liverpool. They've managed to keep their big players fit, haven't they? Which is not an easy thing to do. Oof, Firmino, good save keeper. De Rossi is on, Panman, yeah. I think Ak was right as well. He said Liverpool do go through games when periods in the game when they're extremely vulnerable, which is true. Gonalons is coming on. De Rossi is going off. Owen Hutchinson's thoughts on Mbappe wanting Kante at PSG. I think Kante would go. You know, it's not something that we probably understand, because you'd go, why would you go from Chelsea to PSG and play in a pub league? But he is French, and it's a bit like when Payet wanted to leave to go to Marseille, isn't it? So, plus, you know, Kante, he's won the Premier League twice. You know, unless he absolutely loves England, which he might not do because he's French, he might just see it as a way to earn some money. I think he might be looking for a move anyway. I mean, Chelsea are not going to be in the Champions League next season, so, or highly likely they're not going to be in it. So I think there will be players looking to move on from Chelsea, potentially their manager as well. But we said that at the start of the season. It's the interesting thing about the Premier League is that, and here we go again, crap defending by Roma, unforced error as they call it in tennis, and Liverpool running at their back four again. All the wasted energy from your crap defending, Roma. But we said it at the start of the season, didn't we? There was only ever going to be 4 spots in the Champions League, and there's 6 teams that want them. Now you could discount Arsenal pretty much, because they're the worst of the 6 at the moment. But Spurs, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, City, one of them was always going to miss out. Chelsea were the champions last year. They're not going to be in the Premier League. They're not going to be in the Champions League this year. Yeah, he's got to put that in first time there. Oh, God. This is like me playing down the park, some of the finishing here. $20 minutes to go. Roma need 3. I never felt it was going to happen anyway, but ultimately they've just not been good enough, have they? Over the 2 legs, they haven't been good enough. I think it's only how Liverpool should look at this and think, have we conceded 4 goals? But this is like Mark playing FIFA, says Video Gamer. Well, Liverpool have gone defensive now, and I think that's a clever ploy by Klopp, because they've got 3-goal cushion, haven't they? So, you wouldn't want to be going defensive if Roma only needed 1 goal. And I don't think Roma really have got the intricacy to break Liverpool down now. What Roma should be doing is getting down the flanks and putting the balls into the box. That's what caused Barcelona the problems. But the way Roma are playing now, you can see Liverpool getting a goal on the ban. Why has Salah got to be banned? I don't think he's done anything in this game. No, he didn't get a 3-match ban in the Premier League. The final, I think, is the 24th of May. Pratic, I agree with you. I think Barcelona should hang their heads in shame, really, how they went out to this Roma team. They either caught Roma in a once-in-a-decade performance, or they took it for granted. Roll On Music says, how on earth did Ashley Young keep Mo Salah quiet for 90 minutes? Very easily, mate, because if you want to stop Liverpool from scoring, it's a very negative way of playing, but you just you have a back four, and then you have a midfield that isn't adventurous and sits in front of the back four, and you don't bomb forward and you don't get caught on the break, because Liverpool, if they catch you on the break, they're deadly, and too many teams let themselves get caught on the break. I think Mane's played well in this game though. I think he's had a bit of a mixed season, but he has played well in this game. And then he falls on his arse. "26th of May is the final in Kiev," says Peter Doyle. Thanks, Peter. Antonucci coming on for El Shwari. Man United fan says, how can Liverpool be in a final? Because Porto weren't very good. They beat them. Roma aren't very good. They've beaten them. And then in the Man City game, Liverpool deserved to beat Man City. I think, Liverpool basically are in the final because they beat Man City. Man City would be in a final. Anybody who got Roma on the 2 games I've seen Roma play, you were going to be in the final. So Liverpool have been a bit fortuitous in the draw, Porto and Roma. You'd expect them to beat those, but they beat Man City very well. And if Liverpool are going to win the Champions League, they're going to have to beat Real Madrid. If they beat Real Madrid, as much as I hate to say it, and it will make me cry, if they beat Real Madrid, they deserve to be champions, because Real Madrid are undoubtedly the best team in the world. They've proved that over the last 2 years. And the way they've got to the final, they've beaten PSG, Juventus and Bayern Munich. So they are the best team in the world, Real Madrid. And if Liverpool beat them, then there we go. Danny Smith says, this Liverpool Champions League run smells like when they nearly won the Premier League and they lost it at the end. Typical. Good for me, a United fan though. Yellow card here for Roma. Yeah, Roma aren't going to do it now. 75 minutes in, they're not going to do it now. Pratic says Madrid face the big teams, but they've had the rub of the green. I tell you what, mate, you've got to have the rub of the green. You cannot play PSG, Juventus, and Bayern Munich and not have the rub of the green. Be very, 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 very. I don't think there's a team available at the moment that could go and beat those teams comprehensively over 2 legs. Bayern Munich are a very good team. PSG aren't too bad. Juventus, very experienced team. So Real Madrid have had 3 massive battles to get to the final. Arguably, on paper, Liverpool is an easier game than Juventus and Bayern and PSG. But Liverpool have got a front 3 that is as good as any front 3 in the world at the moment, and that is their threat. And Pratic's right about Real Madrid. I mean, I watched the Champions League final last year against Juventus, and I thought Juventus were the better team in the first half, and Real Madrid came out in the second half with real resilience and beat them. And that's what's impressed me about Zidane, is that, he's been handed the keys to the kingdom, really, without having to do a lot of work, and a bit like Pep. But he hasn't just built a Galacticos team, he's built a team, and that's very impressive. And if they win three in a row, I know it might annoy a lot of people, but you know, you think about the Real Madrid team of the late 50s and early 60s that won everything, and you know, we're living in an era that, you know, you'll be saying, I remember that Real Madrid team that won 3 in a row. It'd be a great team. You know, I remember the Barcelona team of, you know, 09 and the Wembley against United, was it 11? You know, that was a very, very good Barcelona team, but they didn't win 3 in a row. Oh, Jack, it's such a shame, but you make yourself wide open for it. It's alright, Jack. I was dealing with Jake Green there. It's 2-2. He's gone. Don't worry, Eric. They think it's a good idea to do it, and then they're just gone. You know, it's very easy just to block them. So Jack Green's already gone, Man United fan. He's an afterthought. It's 2-2 at the moment. Roma couldn't hit the ocean from a boat. They've had a few half chances, but they can't. You know, they just can't do it. Oh, and I tell you what, we're 6 subscribers away from 28,600. So if you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, and do join us tomorrow night for Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. I really am enjoying the community we're building on That's Football, because there's a lot of different people with a lot of different views, supporting different clubs as well, and I think it makes for a really interesting watch along and community. I think we'll have a good old laugh in the World Cup as well. Tarek says, is Mo Salah playing bad? I suppose by the world levels that he's been playing at recently, he's had a quietish game, but I wouldn't say he's playing bad. I mean, let's be honest, both Liverpool's goals were preventable, and if Roma had been 2-0 up now with 10 minutes to go, this is exactly the score that they would have wanted. Had enough half chances. Don't know what the keeper's doing here with Salah. It's alright, he's got away with it. Yeah, in reflection, the first leg did cost Roma. It's whizzed by now, but I mean, Roma have only got themselves to blame. The tactics in the first leg at Anfield. We're going to play Liverpool at Anfield, which is always rocking, and they like to hit you on the break. I know. Let's play a high pressing game. I mean, an Italian team as well. Play 2 banks of 4 and hit them on the break. That's all they needed to do. Roma just needed to try and make it be 0-0 at Anfield, and they got absolutely hammered. Mohammed, I'm not doing United Stand after this. I've done 2 videos today. There's the 7 o'clock transfer show, and at lunchtime I did the reaction to Fellaini's verbal diarrhea interview, which was just ridiculous. So we've on the United Stand tomorrow, we will have Transfer Daily at 7 AM, and we will be reacting to Mourinho's press conference as usual with the preview. So that will be probably around 1 o'clock. Obviously got the watch along on here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Be 8 o'clock, won't it, in the Europa League? That Liverpool keeper's crap, isn't he? Karius. They really do. Liverpool have just not sorted that out for a few years as well, have they? They've never sorted their keeping situation out. How's the game gone, says Sanescape? I'm disappointed with Roma, to be honest. They... Yellow card for Malas there. Disappointed with Roma, to be honest, because they stupid, really. Stupid defensive errors, and you know it was going to be very hard for them to score 3 goals anyway. But making those errors. Killed it as a tie. Gazel Cesar says, I was really worried when Klopp went to Liverpool, and I was right to be worried. They haven't won it yet, mate. They haven't won it yet, and their hardest game is to come. I mean, if Liverpool beat Real Madrid, I'll be crying like every other United fan, but if they beat Real Madrid, you can't argue with it. You know, Real Madrid are the best team in the world, and if Liverpool find a way of beating them, then you can't argue with it. But I'm not going to say I don't think they can do, because I think they can do, but I would expect Real Madrid to win that. And Klopp's got a record of bottling finals, so there we go. Of course Salah's better than Alexis Sanchez. I'll defend United players, but I can't say that Sanchez is better than Salah. It's, you know, it's just not true. Oh, Nainggolan's just scored. 3-2 to Roma. It's going to be a little bit too late, but he took his time on it. He scored. Give us an interesting last 5 minutes. He hit it really well, actually. Good goal. Very good goal. 3-2. Just a little bit too late. And then you start to think now, if they'd just been given one of them penalties that they did deserve. Well, this is what I mean about everybody. Look, the final will be a one-off game. You can't start saying, well, Roma beat Liverpool. Yes, they have, but... Daniel Rowland's right. Roma have scored the 3 goals they needed to score. Their defence has absolutely let them down. And ironically, Nainggolan was the catalyst for that with a silly mistake right at the start that just really killed Roma's chances, really. Again. Giving the ball away, silly areas. Ricardo Fidalgo says that Roma have been robbed. I don't know whether I'd go that far. I wouldn't go that far that they've been robbed, but they've brought it on themselves. So, Drawty's right, it is a ridiculous aggregate score, 5-7. The final could be interesting, Drawty, could be very interesting. We're just talking about who's going to do it because I'm not doing the final. We need to get a guest presenter for the Champions League final. It's up for grabs. Maybe we can run a competition. Somebody can do it because I'm not doing the final. I can't do the final. I'm not impartial. That's football. Must be impartial. I cannot be impartial in a Liverpool final against Real Madrid. When Real Madrid score, if they score, I will celebrate like mad. And if Liverpool score, I'll be banging the table. So that's not impartial. You can't have that. So I'm not going to do it. And I don't think Xander can do it either because I think Xander said that he's away that week. So there you go. That's football. So I think we should run it as a competition. Not many channels have got 30,000 subscribers, just under, with maybe 1,000 people watching you. For the final, probably a lot more. Wesley says he's going to find a rock for the final. Just not enough time for Roma. Just going to be not enough time. We're into the 90th minute now, and as I've always said in the Champions League, it's not the Premier League. They never really tend to add on any more than 3 minutes, so not going to be the time. Although, Dzeko is was part of that Man City team that scored 2 goals in added time to deny United that title. I think there's 3 minutes added on. Yes, I got it right. Yeah, the European referees never add hardly any time on at all. So you're not going to do it in 3 minutes, Roma, I'm afraid. Russell or Rodney. Oh, well, for the same reason, I don't think it would be fair to inflict it on a United fan. It'd have to be a very calm United fan. Could you Roma do a United 99, says Ed Woodward? No. They can't. Because Liverpool, to be fair, Klopp may be many things, but he ain't stupid, and he's playing a high line here. Because he doesn't want balls into the box. And he knows Roma haven't got the pace over the top. Nazmul says it's going to be Liverpool's year. The whole world can feel it. But that might just be desperation and despair. That might be half glass empty from United fans. David says that Roma are quite unfortunate. They were wrongly denied 2 penalties. I think Roma could have done it tonight. But they don't deserve to do it tonight because they made stupid errors that you can't make at this level. And yes, they probably could have had a penalty in the second half, but they've given themselves... Even if Roma got the 2 goals, it would have been extra time. Those 2 goals killed off their away goals that they got at Anfield. So Roma have done this to themselves with their poor defensive, poor mistakes. Remember to join us tomorrow night for the Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal game. This will be very interesting. And it's a corner to Roma. Should have been another penalty. Another handball. Oh no, he's given the penalty. Well, they're not going to have time, are they? There's no time, and I think the referee is saying that. There's no time anyway. So 4-2 to Roma. They've scored a penalty, but it doesn't give them any time to do anything, does it? Probably won't even give me time to change the score. But to be honest with you, a team of Real Madrid's quality, if they can't score at least 4 against them in the final. And there's the ref blown it. There wasn't even time. So Liverpool are in the final, having lost 4-2, but scored twice themselves to kill off Roma's hopes. Roma basically killing them themselves, really. No one to blame but themselves. I think the referee probably should have given another minute as well at the end, to be fair. He pretty much blew on 3 minutes, and there was a little, surely there was another 30 seconds or so he could have given there, to be fair. But it is what it is. You make mistakes like that, Roma, you don't make it into the final, and they needed one of those penalties to be about 20 minutes, 30 minutes sooner than that. So Liverpool into the Champions League final through gritted teeth. For a United fan, not happy about that. It's all over to Ronaldo. Can he do us a favour in the final? But we'll have that covered. Atletico Madrid Arsenal tomorrow night. Do join us for that. Could be very, very interesting. So thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Bottom right hand corner, open to everybody. And midday tomorrow for the latest football news. And then tomorrow night we will be live for Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Watch along. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for all for watching.